Hi guys, let's quickly have a look at Dow Jones. And as you guys know by now, I usually start off my analysis on the monthly chart. And on the monthly chart, we can see that currently price is at a very strong level of support and it is testing support. And we can see that at this point, this level had been tested multiple times, right? And we might potentially get a reversal of sorts at this point, right? To add to that, just also bear in mind that we have at this point an overextended W structure, with this side being the first leg of that W structure, and this side being the second leg of the W structure, and the neckline being at this point more or less. And you guys know by now that when it comes to W structures, ideally we want to see price break to the upside of that neckline and then head back to the neckline to test it, and at that neckline is where we generally look for potential buying opportunities. So similarly, we might potentially be looking for buying opportunities at this point. However, just also bear in mind that the market is in a very strong bearish market. As you can see, we have a very strong downward trajectory at this point in time. And to add to that, if I can just zoom in a bit, we also have at this point an opposing M structure, which also has a neckline at more or less the same area. Can you guys see that? So it will also make it a bit risky in as far as buying at this point, and that is because, as I've said, we have this overextended W structure, which also has a neckline at this point over here. I just hope my drawings are not too confusing, but I'm just trying to make a point, right? Anyway, I'm just gonna add a neckline to that area, which is also a very strong level of support, as I've mentioned, right? Right, yeah. So as I said, guys, buying or selling at this point would be a bit risky, and that is because we have two opposing structures. Number one, we have this overextended W structure, and number two, we have an M structure over here, and they both have necklines in more or less the same area. Can you guys see that? Right. Anyway, from here I'm just gonna head down to the weekly chart, and here we are on the weekly chart. And on the weekly chart we can see this M structure that I've been speaking about. It's a bit clearer on the weekly chart, and the neckline, as you guys can see, has been broken to the bottom side. And you guys know by now that when it comes to M structures, you want to see price break to the bottom side of that neckline and then head back to the neckline to test it. At that neckline is where we look for further selling opportunities. But having said that, excuse me guys, having said that, remember we have this W structure which has a neckline at this level. So as I said, buying or selling at this point would be a bit risky. Anyway, what else do we see in regards to this chart? Another thing that I see in regards to this chart is the fact that we have this candlestick over here. It is a bullish candlestick with a small body and a long upper wick, and it tells me that at this level we have a lot of liquidity at that point, and we might potentially see price head up to grab that liquidity, right? I think I'm just gonna mark that area. It's very important. Let's see, there we go. Right, so what else do we see, guys, in regards to the weekly chart of US30? I don't see much at this point in time, so I'm just gonna head down to the daily chart. And here we are on the daily chart. Let's have a look. On the daily chart, I'm just gonna start off by adding my channel. Let's see, my channel, my daily channel. Just bear with me, guys, while I add my daily channel. There we go, more or less, and the other side as well. There we go. Right, there we go. So what else do we see, guys, in regards to the daily chart of US30? Another thing that I see that is also very much important is the fact that we have a W structure at this point, and it has a neckline at that point, right? And we can see that price had broken to the upside of that neckline and then went back to retest that neckline. Unfortunately, the neckline was not able to hold as price closed just before that neckline, right? So this is an indication that we might potentially see price continue to move further down, at least to this level over here for now, at the very least, right? Anyway, let's proceed. So what else do we see, guys, in regards to this particular chart of US30? At this point, I don't see much really, although I will point out that another reason why price retraced at this level is because this level is also a very strong level of resistance. As you guys can see, we've had multiple rejections at that area, right? So it would make sense for price to actually retrace at that level, as you guys can see. Anyway, what I'm gonna do now is just add a line to that area because it's also very much important. Let's see. Just bear with me. There we go, right there we go. So from here, what I'm gonna do, guys, is head down to the H4 chart, seeing that I don't really see much of interest on this particular chart, right? Let's see. Let me just fix my channel more or less. Let's see. There we go. That should be fine. Let's see. So what else do we see, guys, in regards to the H4 chart of US30? Right. On the daily chart, I spoke about how we have this W structure over here, and it has a neckline at that point, more or less, right? As much as we have that W structure, can you guys also see that we have an M structure at this point, right? And it also has a neckline at that level, right? And we can see that price has broken to the bottom side of that neckline, right? And as you guys know by now, whenever we have a situation where price closes below the neckline of an M structure, ideally we want to see the price or the market head back to the neckline to test it, and at that neckline is where we would look for potential selling opportunities, right? So I'm just gonna add a neckline to that M structure. Let's see. Just bear with me, guys. There we go, right? And another thing that I need to do is to add my H4 channel. I'm just gonna add it quickly as well. I would add it in this manner, right? There goes our H4 channel, right? So the next thing that I'm going to do is to add, or rather to use, the Fibonacci Retracement tool, and we want to have a look in terms of whether the neckline aligns with any key numbers that we have on the tool. And there we go, we can see that the neckline aligns with more or less the 50% as well as the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement levels, which means we have confluence. So should price from where it is head back to this level, at this level is where we would look for selling opportunities, right? At this level is where we would look for selling opportunities. To add to that, the neckline of that M structure is also a very strong level of resistance, because if I can just put this here, if I can just add this line here, we can see that we've had multiple rejections at that zone, right? So it's a very strong level of resistance at this point in time, right? So we have confluence, guys. Number one, we have the neckline of that M structure, right? Number two, we have price breaking the neckline of that M structure, right? Number three, we have the neckline aligning with both the 50% as well as the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. Number four, we have this entire area over here being a very strong level of resistance, right? So should price come back to this level from where it is, at this point is where I would look for potential selling opportunities. I would sell, and my first take profit, that is, would be at this point over here, right? Why do I say this point? That is because, in my humble opinion, that is where this M structure started, right? And I would love to see it end more or less at this point, right? Having said that, just to go back to the daily chart, let's see. Just bear with me. In fact, let me go back to the weekly chart. Having said all this, guys, just remember that in regards to the weekly chart, we have price testing a very strong level of support at this point in time, and I said that buying or selling at this point could be risky, right? And that's the reason why on the H4 chart, I would say we rather focus on the short-term gains, right? In that I would rather be, or rather I would sell at this point, and my take profit would be at this point, right? And then from here we'll see what the market does next, right? So that is it in as far as my analysis goes. I hope that makes sense, and peace out.